Social media has completely ruined society in a lot of ways. Everyone's addicted to their phones, addicted to scrolling. We're all slaves to the algorithm. Everybody in this society is under socialized. Everybody's always comparing themselves to these glamorous fake lives they see on Instagram or whatever other slop algorithm they like to scroll. We're pretty much just doomed at this point. Unless somebody does something about this whole internet thing, I don't know what that would be. I think we're just kind of screwed at this point. But as I'm sure most of you already know, it tends to be the fairer of the two sexes that is particularly susceptible to suggestion. And that's doubly problematic because when it comes to social media, I think it's safe to say that shit rises to the top. And these pieces of, these beautiful, perfect angels that blow up on social media, these are the role models for the next generation. Little girls are watching Bad Baby, Lil Tay, the frickin' Hawk Tuah girl. Little girls are watching these careers very closely. They are being influenced by what they say and what they do, and then obviously they're gonna grow up themselves to try to emulate that. Make no mistake about it. There are millions of adolescent females right now living in this world that actually see OnlyFans as something to aspire to. They think being the next Hawk Tuah girl is a realistic career path. As much as it sucks being a frickin' millennial or Gen Z, just getting bent over and railed by selfish boomers all the time, we don't even have it half as bad as the future generations coming up. Unless something drastic happens to divert society away from this socially isolating hedonistic path we're currently sprinting toward faster than Usain Bolt on his way to meet up with the women's Swedish handball team at 3 in the morning, we're screwed. There was a poll from 2024 where they asked a bunch of 12 to 15-year-olds what they want to be when they grow up, and just look at the results. 32% want to be YouTubers, 21% want to be TikTokers, 15% want to be streamers. Okay, that's 68% of kids these days saying they want to be some kind of social media influencer as their career. 68%. So who do you think these kids are looking up to? Who do you think their role models are? And yeah, obviously, kids have always had unrealistic career ambitions. Back in my day, all the kids wanted to be actors or pro athletes or rock stars or whatever, which, yeah, I get it. It's kind of similar. There's plenty of debauchery to go around with those occupations. But at least with those things, like being a rock star, for example, debauchery wasn't the point of it. That's not the part that kids were dreaming about. It was more so the music, the fame, just, shredding on guitar. It's just cool. It looks cool. It makes cool sounds. It is it's a talent. And the debauchery and degeneracy was all kind of in the background as far as what the youth were exposed to. But look at streamers these days. The degenerate lifestyle is the point. That's what the content is. Look at TikTok. What is it that makes certain girls get really big on TikTok while certain others don't? Okay, it's not talent. It's not personality. The most popular girls on TikTok today, most of them probably never even speak in their videos. They just dance and jiggle around and put their bodies on display. And they get famous doing this when they're still in adolescence. Okay, they should be studying. They should be hanging out with their friends and gossiping and learning how to bake and things like that. They shouldn't be looking up to these absolute harlots hoping to emulate that success. The standard career progression for a female that blows up on social media during adolescence, okay, the standard career path. I'm not talking about one-off cases here, but the standard, most common career progression for a female that blows up on social media during her youth is to start an OF account as soon as they turn 18. That's literally what girls are aspiring towards these days. The typical career progression of a female social media influencer looks like this. First, they get a following for posting videos of them dancing or sometimes just blatantly showing off their body. There's not even any plausible deniability half the time. Then they might try to be a pop star, or in some cases, they might even try streaming or podcasting, which is a total flop 99% of the time. So that's when they just go, well, guess it's time to start selling pictures. Boom. OF. OF should probably stand for Old Faithful, because that's how girls these days see it in terms of career viability. Look at Lil Tay. This girl got famous on Instagram when she was like 10 years old. Her whole shtick was she was the quote-unquote youngest flexer of the century. She would post videos flexing cash, luxury cars, designer clothes, all while talking like a rapper or something, just using all this vulgar language and all that. Then she went silent for a while, only to reemerge as a wannabe pop star, or rapper maybe. I don't know, I didn't listen to it. But she made some music videos, which, as I'm sure you could probably guess, the videos pretty much just consisted of her displaying herself in a provocative manner. I didn't watch these videos, by the way. I only know about it because she went viral at some point for complaining about grown men lusting after her, as if that wasn't literally her entire goal the whole time, to siphon money from simps. Then, of course, what does she do as soon as she turns 18? Like, literally the second she turned 18. She opened an OF account, of course, and according to her, she made over $1 million in the first day. Which is probably true. Because listen, fellas, y'all aren't any better. Y'all are the ones making these girls famous. They do this because it does work sometimes. Obviously, most of the girls that try to be famous online never actually manage to make anything of it, but some of them do, and they make a lot of it. And that's the shit that rises to the top of the algorithm that all these impressionable young females see, and then they make it their life goal to emulate that path. Case in point, again, Lil Tay. Okay, let me break down the timeline of Lil Tay's moral disintegration so y'all can understand exactly what happened here. Because this is important to understand, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone actually analyze this. Okay, Lil Tay now is one of the influencers poisoning the minds of the next generation, but before that, she was the youth that got influenced. When did Lil Tay first rise to prominence? Early 2018. That's when she was doing the little flexing videos when she was like 10 years old. Okay, so who was one of the most successful young female influencers back in early 2018? None other than Danielle Bregoli, aka Bad Baby, aka the Catch Me Outside girl. Danielle Bregoli first got famous after she went on Dr. Phil. It was just another typical Dr. Phil episode about a troubled teen girl that doesn't seem to know what race she is, which is Jewish, by the way. But clips of her from that episode went mega quadruple viral, and it was all because people were laughing at her and laughing at the fake ghetto accent she was putting on. But when I say she went viral, I mean, we're talking about as viral as possible. It was very similar to the Hawk Tuah girl, which we'll get into in a minute, but it's safe to assume Lil Tay was definitely influenced by Danielle Bregoli. I mean, if you look at the timeline of Lil Tay's career, every move she made along the way is exactly the same as what Danielle Bregoli had done at the same stage in her career. By the way, I really don't like using the word career to describe a series of progressively more degenerate actions, but, we gotta face facts. These girls are filthy rich from doing this, so it is what it is. But yeah, Danielle Bregoli went super viral because people hated her, or people were amused by her antics in a haha, look at this clown sort of way. Then she started making rap music, which she was extremely successful at, by the way. I didn't even realize this, but she released one song which instantly made it to the Billboard Hot 100, and then Atlantic Records signed her to a multi-million-dollar contract. And this was only like a year after the Dr. Phil appearance. Okay, fast forward a few years after that, not even 1 week after her 18th birthday, she started an OnlyFans and immediately started earning over $1 million a month. Lil Tay followed that exact same path to a T. She went viral at a young age, specifically because people were laughing at her. Then she tried to start a music career, although Lil Tay wasn't nearly as successful as Bad Baby. But yeah, then she started selling disgusting images of herself as soon as she was legally allowed to do so. She made all the same moves. The only difference is Danielle's initial rise to fame was an accident. Lil Tay was making calculated moves from the beginning. Now, obviously, at 10 years old, I don't think the flexing videos were her idea. Apparently, it was her older brother behind it. But following her virality, she made all the same exact moves as Danielle Bregoli. So obviously, this young girl was influenced to do these things. And it's hard to blame her when it all freaking worked. It worked. She's already made more money at age 18 than most of us will ever make in our entire lives. Obviously, what she's doing is disgusting, and really it's just sad, but that's the culture we're living in. And it was all made possible by the internet, social media. Shit rises to the top. It's not scientists or philosophers or groundbreaking artists that are making the big money on social media. There are some people in those categories that do well on social media, but none of those people have widespread influence on the younger generations like frickin' Bad Baby or Haley Welch, the Hawk Tuah girl. I don't know if that means this is what our society values, or if it means these big social media tech companies are intentionally designing their algorithms to promote this drivel for who knows what reasons, or maybe someone else is manipulating the algorithm. I don't know. I really don't. But I do know for damn sure that right now there are millions upon millions of females growing up today addicted to their phones, obsessed with these influencers, obsessed with the idea of living that same lifestyle. We are so screwed as a society. And I know obviously it's not like every girl these days aspires to be an OnlyFans creator. Most of them probably would rather just be rich and famous for dancing with their clothes on TikTok, but it's all the same. It's all part of the same pipeline. Girls selling themselves, selling their bodies for cash and notoriety, and it's normalized. This is all normalized. Even like Charlie D'Amelio, for example, or however you say it, or Addison Rae. By the way, I'm not really very familiar with these people. Believe it or not, I actually did some research for this video, but some people might point to certain successful young influencers like Charlie D'Amelio or Addison Rae as more positive role models because they don't have OF accounts. But you can look at their respective TikTok accounts if you want. It's really not that much better. They're still just selling access to view their bodies online. Or really, they're putting it online to view for free, and then they're making money off sponsorships and undeserved music deals. And both of these girls, if I'm not mistaken, started doing this, showing off their bodies online when they were very young, like way too young to be doing what they're doing. But these are considered positive role models as far as young female influencers go. And the thing is, they are absolutely, without a doubt, influencing pretty much every young girl growing up today in this society to want to live a lifestyle just like they do. This shit is ubiquitous, okay? Every girl in the Western world today knows exactly who Addison Rae or Charlie D'Amelio is, okay? They're like household names among young girls. When a girl responds to a survey that her career ambition is to become a social media influencer, this is exactly what she's talking about. She's talking about being Addison Rae, at best. And what that means, if she wants to pursue that, is she will have to post videos of herself on the internet for everyone to see for free. Just dancing and showing herself off. Not even making a damn cent for doing it. And for the ones that do manage to build a following, very few of them are going to manage to get big like Charli D'Amelio. Okay, but some of them will get some kind of following, like maybe 100,000 followers or something. But that's not really enough to make a career. Not in the way Charli or Addison do it with sponsorships and music deals. But it is enough of a following that, maybe if she starts posting on a certain other platform after she turns 18, that might be profitable. Or she might think it would be profitable. Plenty of other influencers she's seen have made that exact same move. So Charli D'Amelio, that's not a positive role model, okay? She is recruiting impressionable young girls down the same degenerate pipeline. The same fucking pipeline that Lil Tay went down, and literally thousands of other young ladies that most of them didn't even ever make a single damn dollar off of it. They hoard themselves out for free. For free. This is what social media does. The vast majority of creators on OnlyFans never make a single dime. Nothing, okay? Zilch. They're just ruining their reputations forever just for the hope of making money. Then they don't even get anything for it. Now, let's talk about the Hawk Tuah girl. This chick went viral for making a very unfunny joke during a street interview. It's truly baffling to me that so many people found this clip entertaining, but hey, that's the society we live in. Some mid-range blonde bimbo just mentions a vulgar act on camera and, oh my God, that's so hilarious. She's so funny. I gotta tell everyone I know. And now she's famous. That's all it took. I mean, that clip spread like wildfire. That's how retarded our society is. That's how mind-numbingly stupid the average person is. The average person legitimately thinks Hawk Tuah is hilarious. What the I don't understand it. But again, what does the immense virality of a clip like this say to the young people in our society? What does the ensuing fame of Haley Welch say to the youth? It says, look kids, if you want to be famous, you need to be a crude fucking moron in public and voila, you too could be the next viral sensation. Forget working hard to cultivate some valuable skill. Just tell the world how you like to spit on it, and you're sure to be the next big thing. By the way, I don't even have anything against Haley Welch for making that joke. She was out drinking with her friends, having a good time. Fine, it's no big deal. Young, drunk people make crude jokes. But the problem is with how our sick society randomly rewarded her so much for it. The main problem isn't that it was a vulgar joke. The problem is it's not funny. And Little Miss Hawk Tuah over here obviously does not have the talent or the personality to sustain any sort of following. Yet she, of all people, was the one that was given the chance to make it big. A chance that the vast majority of actually deserving people will never get. Will never even get any close to. But that's the nature of social media. The shit that makes it big is always the most useless, retarded shit. I'm sure you all know what happened next. Hawk Tuah started a podcast where she got big name guests right off the bat because she was signed with some sort of talent agency or something. Her podcast quickly fell off because, of course it did. She is a boring person that really doesn't have anything particularly interesting to say. Then there was some kind of crypto scam. I don't really know what that was all about, but it certainly was not a good look. Then that brings us to now where, you guessed it, she's selling a certain kind of lewd pictures of herself online. Old Faithful, the classic fallback strategy for every female influencer these days. Even when a woman does make it big online on a personality-based medium like streaming or podcasting, It's always the dumbest and most insufferable women that get rich and famous. Exhibit A, Pokimane, or Pokemon, I guess is how you say it, but I'll just call her Pokimane. I don't follow her career at all. I know there's been various drama surrounding her over the years, but you can just watch any random clip of this broad and holy shit, just the way she talks, like the inflection she speaks with. I can't even imagine a more insufferable person. I get that she's kinda hot, but she's nothing incredible. And her personality is truly grating. It's hard to listen to her for 15 seconds without cringing. Pokimane is one of those female streamers that deludes herself into thinking people watch her for her personality, which I guess is partially true, but the only reason anybody watches her is because it's a bunch of simps using her for a parasocial girlfriend experience. Like I say, I don't really follow her career, but she obviously must know where her bread is buttered, although she would never admit it. But recently, Pokimane very obviously started to date this guy, or at the very least, they were doing things together, most likely all alone, without any clothes on, if you know what I'm saying. You could just tell from how they looked at each other, but Pokimane kept trying to play it off like, no, we're just friends, he's just my friend. Because she knows damn well why the hell she's famous. It's not because anybody on this planet actually finds value in a single word she's ever said. It's not because she has any special talent or anything. It's because they want to boink her. Period. She's famous for her hips and backside and her face. She's famous for girlfriend baiting her audience of simps, acting like, tee-hee, I'm a silly girl. I'm a quirky, silly, wholesome girl. Tee-hee, I'm cute. Like, that's her entire thing. She actually kind of talks like that, by the way. It's really freaking hard to listen to. Unless you got your zipper undone already and you're in that kind of mood. In that case, I will admit, I can understand why pathetic simps might watch this garbage. I don't endorse it at all, but it's easy to see what's going on there. Pokimane is also known for always trying to paint herself as just a normal, everyday gal. I mean, that is kind of the whole thing. She's your parasocial girl next door. But in reality, she's not a girl next door. She lives in a multi-million-dollar home in Los Angeles. She routinely spends boatloads of cash on jewelry and designer clothes, which she flexes on social media. She bought herself a freaking engagement ring. I mean, Pokimane is anything but the girl next door. She's rich as shit. Or not even rich. Let's be clear. Pokimane is wealthy. She makes more money in 1 month than most people make in an entire year. Easily. Yet she always wants to act like she hates the rich. She talks about hating billionaires, like billionaires are all evil for hoarding wealth. Like, lady, you could personally, all by yourself, raise 1,000 people up out of poverty. You have that much money, but you choose to spend it extravagantly. You live in a multi-million-dollar home. You don't have to do that. You can share some of that wealth. The thing you think that billionaires should be doing, you also have enough wealth to do that. It would be on a much smaller scale, obviously. I understand there is a massive difference between Pokimane and her employer, Jeff Bezos, but compared to an actual commoner like myself, Pokimane is filthy rich. But she wants to act like she's a commoner. She does this thing where she tries to act like she's just a regular girl next door, but then she also loves to flex her jewelry and everything, so, she just can't help but show off. But look, here's the biggest problem with Pokimane, and this is why I think she's not a whole lot better than all the other female influencers we've talked about. At the end of the day, Pokimane is still selling herself online just like all the others. She keeps her clothes on, and for the most part, she actually dresses fairly modestly. But what she's selling specifically is the emotional, personal part of the girlfriend experience. She's giving away a part of herself that should be reserved only for her significant other. And she's influencing young girls all over the world to do the same thing. But just like with Charlie D'Amelio or any of these other supposedly wholesome role models for girls, the thing is, thousands upon thousands of girls will try to follow in her footsteps, but they'll never make it to the same level for various reasons. But a lot of those girls, somewhere along the way, will start to think, well, maybe I could make some quick cash if I just, it's just a few pictures. They make it easy. I just got to sign up and take a few pictures. What's the big deal? And boom, now there's more spiritually dead harlots in the world. Females that could have grown up to be mothers and homemakers, teachers of the next generation, instilling positive values in the youth, contributing to the overall health and prosperity of human society. But instead, what they aspire towards, due to the influence of Pokimane and Emaru and others like that, is they aspire to make a career out of providing a parasocial girlfriend experience to thousands of lonely men. And what they're doing when they do that is they are demotivating these men. Probably millions of men, honestly. They are making these men feel satisfied enough with what they get from watching Pokimane, because it's like, you can listen to her yap all day, you can virtually hang out with her, go shopping with her, go on dates with her, you can be in her room with her while she wiggles around in her silky pajamas. Men are so defeated these days, that is enough to make a lot of guys feel satisfied. That's enough. So these men don't even try to get with women in real life. They have no motivation. Their brains already think they've achieved success. They've locked down their cutie pie, gamer, girl next door girlfriend. They got her. Why work hard or try to actually do whatever you got to do to meet a woman in real life so you can start a real family when you've already got Pokimane on the device in your pocket that you can turn on her stream anytime? If you don't think about it too hard, it's kind of like she's talking directly to you. So yeah, I don't think these streamer chicks are much better than the bad babies of the world. They're all doing the same thing as far as the damage they're doing to society. In a lot of ways, people like Pokimane are worse because at least Bad Baby is upfront about what she's doing. But yeah, don't give any of these broads your money. Don't give them your attention. That's the main thing they're after, your attention, okay? Never forget that. They need your attention to keep doing what it is they do. So don't give it to them. Ignore them. If you enjoyed the video, please check out some of my other videos. There's also some secret videos you can watch for free on my Patreon page. So check that out. No sign up required. And thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.